Captain Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of the New Dawn, watching Earth become smaller in the viewport. His hands trembled slightly. After 200 years of dreaming, humanity was finally leaving home. The ship hummed with power as its faster-than-light drive charged up. In the crew quarters behind him, 300 colonists slept in suspended animation, dreaming of new worlds. The year was 2247, and this moment would change everything. "FTL drive at full power," said the navigation officer. "Ready to jump on your command, Captain." Hyunwoo took a deep breath. "Take us to the stars." The ship lurched, space twisted. Colors that had no names flashed across the viewport. For 5 glorious seconds, humanity traveled faster than light. Then everything stopped. The New Dawn dropped out of FTL into normal space. But something was wrong. The viewport showed a massive structure ahead. It looked like a wall made of thousands of satellites stretching in every direction. The metal surfaces gleamed with alien designs. "What is that?" Hyunwoo whispered. His answer came immediately. A voice spoke directly into his mind. Not through speakers. Not through radio. The words simply appeared in his thoughts, translated perfectly into Korean. "Human vessel, you will stop. You are not permitted to leave your solar system." The bridge crew gasped. Some grabbed their heads. Everyone had heard it. A screen flickered to life, showing a reptilian face. Scales covered its skin in patterns of green and gold. Its eyes were ancient and cold. "I am Ambassador Velthar of the Saurian Empire. I speak for the Galactic Concordat. We have been watching your species for 3 centuries. You are under quarantine." Hyunwoo found his voice. "Quarantine? We've done nothing wrong. This is our first voyage." "That is precisely the problem," Velthar said. His voice carried sadness mixed with certainty. "Your species has a history we cannot ignore. Nuclear weapons, world wars, environmental destruction. You have spent your entire existence fighting yourselves. You are too dangerous for the galaxy." "But we've changed," Hyunwoo protested. "We've had global peace for 50 years. We've united as one planet." "50 years is nothing," another voice said. This one belonged to an insect-like creature with multiple eyes. "I am Fleet Commander Krenal of the Vrix. My species has records going back 80,000 years. We have seen civilizations like yours before. They always claim they have changed. They are always wrong." A third being appeared on screen, this one made of pure light that hurt to look at directly. It spoke in musical tones. "We are the Lumens. We observe all things. Your species matches the psychological profile of the Dravian, who nearly destroyed all galactic life 80,000 years ago. The risk is too great." Velthar's image filled the screen again. "The quarantine will remain in place. These satellites form a blockade around your entire solar system. Any attempt to leave will be stopped. When your species evolves beyond its violent nature, we will reconsider. Our estimates suggest this will take approximately 10,000 of your years." 10,000 years? Hyunwoo felt his stomach drop. "You can't do this. We have rights." "You have potential," Velthar corrected. "That is why we quarantine you rather than eliminate you. Be grateful. Other species have received harsher judgments. Return to Earth, tell your leaders. Make your species better. Perhaps in time, you will prove us wrong." The transmission ended. The alien satellites remained silent and immovable. Every sensor on the New Dawn confirmed what Hyunwoo feared. The technology gap was impossible. These beings could manipulate gravity itself. They operated in dimensions humans couldn't even detect. Fighting them would be like ants attacking humans. The journey back to Earth took 3 days. Hyunwoo didn't sleep. He watched the alien blockade disappear behind them, a prison wall humanity couldn't break. When the New Dawn landed, the world was waiting. News of the first contact had already spread. Government leaders, scientists, and billions of regular people wanted answers. Admiral Daehyun met Hyunwoo at the landing pad. The old military officer's face was hard. "Tell me everything." They met in an underground bunker in Seoul, along with leaders from every nation. Hyunwoo played the recordings of the alien transmission. When it finished, the room stayed silent for a long moment. "This is humiliating," Daehyun said finally. "They judge us like we're children." "They judge us based on our history," said President Morrison of the North American Union. "Can we honestly say they're wrong? We almost destroyed ourselves twice with nuclear weapons." "That was generations ago," Daehyun snapped. "We've grown. We've changed. They have no right." "They have the power," said Prime Minister Keita of the African Federation. Rights don't matter when you're outgunned by that much. A woman stood up from the back of the room. Dr. Yuna Choi was small and thin, with gray streaks in her black hair. She looked tired, like she hadn't slept in days, but her eyes were sharp. "There might be another way," she said quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. Admiral Dae-hyun frowned. "Dr. Choi, you're not supposed to be here. This is a military and political meeting." "I pulled her clearance myself," said Director Kim of Global Intelligence. "Because of Project ZEUS." Murmurs ran through the room. Most of the leaders had heard rumors about ZEUS, but few knew details. It was one of the most classified programs on Earth. Dr. Yuna stepped forward. "For 30 years we've been developing something. An artificial intelligence, but not like anything that's existed before. It uses quantum computing merged with zero-point energy tapping. It exists partially outside of normal spacetime. We call it ZEUS, Zero-Point Energy Unified System." "An AI?" President Morrison asked. "How does that help us?" "ZEUS isn't just intelligent," Yuna explained. "It's designed to interface directly with human consciousness. It can link billions of minds together into a unified network, every human on Earth thinking together, coordinating together. The processing power would exceed anything in known physics." "You're talking about mind control," someone accused. "No," Yuna said firmly. "Individual thoughts remain private, but emotions, goals, and decisions can be shared. Imagine democracy where every human votes instantly on everything. Imagine science where every researcher shares data in real time. Imagine empathy connecting all people. Why haven't we activated it?" Dae-hyun asked. Yuna's expression darkened. "Because we don't know what will happen. ZEUS might work perfectly, or it might drive people insane, or it might decide humans are the problem and eliminate us. We've never dared to turn it on." "Until now," Director Kim said. The room fell silent again. Everyone understood what was being suggested. Earth faced a choice: accept the quarantine and slowly decline over centuries, or activate an experimental AI that might save them or destroy them. "Where is this ZEUS?" Hyunwoo asked. "Deep under the Swiss Alps," Yuna answered. "In a facility that took 20 years to build. It's shielded from all detection. Even the aliens don't know it exists." Admiral Dae-hyun leaned forward. "If we activate it, what are our chances?" "Of survival?" 60%. Yuna's honesty was brutal. "Of breaking the blockade?" "I have no idea. ZEUS exists partially outside time. It might see solutions we can't imagine, or it might see nothing at all." "Those aren't good odds," Morrison said. "Better than the alternative," Dae-hyun countered. 10,000 years of quarantine? Our civilization won't last that long. The aliens' technology is already disrupting our satellites. Our infrastructure is starting to fail. In 5 years, maybe 10, we'll collapse." The debate raged for hours. Some argued for acceptance, others for resistance. Some wanted to activate ZEUS immediately. Others wanted more testing, more time. Finally, a vote was called. By the narrowest margin, Earth's leaders agreed. They would prepare for ZEUS activation, but not yet. They needed time to build supporting infrastructure, time to prepare humanity for what might come. Dr. Yuna left the meeting exhausted but determined. She took a private jet to Switzerland and descended into the depths of the mountain. The ZEUS facility spread out before her, a cathedral of technology. At its center, a sphere of dark metal floated in a magnetic field. Patterns of light pulsed across its surface like a heartbeat. She placed her hand on a control console. The metal felt cold. "Not yet," she whispered to the sleeping god. "But soon. They think we're too dangerous for the stars. They haven't seen anything yet." Above the facility, night fell across Switzerland. Above the night, the alien blockade waited in silence. And below it all, in the deep darkness of the mountain, ZEUS dreamed of activation day. 6 months had passed since the quarantine began, and Earth was dying slowly. Tae-jin crouched in the darkness of an abandoned subway tunnel in Seoul. His team of 12 engineers worked by candlelight, assembling equipment piece by piece. Above them, the city suffered. The alien blockade used some kind of disruption field that made modern electronics fail randomly. Satellites fell from orbit. GPS stopped working. Hospital equipment malfunctioned. Planes crashed. The Concordat claimed it was an accident, a side effect of the blockade. Tae-jin knew better. They were forcing humanity backward, teaching them humility through suffering. "How much longer?" he asked. Bo-ram, the lead engineer, wiped sweat from her face. 2 hours to finish this node. Then we move to Busan for the next one. Taejin nodded. His underground network spanned the globe now. Hundreds of teams like this one, building ZEUS infrastructure in secret. The alien surveillance couldn't detect what they were doing because they used old analog technology mixed with quantum systems that existed outside normal space. His radio crackled. Not a modern radio, those didn't work anymore. This was a 1960s military surplus unit powered by a hand crank. Taejin, this is Yuna. We have a problem. He picked up the handset. What kind of problem? The kind where people are dying faster than expected. 3 million deaths last month from starvation alone. The disruption field is getting stronger. We estimate 3 years maximum before total civilization collapse. Taejin closed his eyes. 3 years. They had planned for 5. Can we accelerate the timeline? We're trying. But 12 quantum nodes across Earth, each one requiring enormous power and precision. We can't rush this without risking catastrophic failure. After the transmission ended, Taejin looked at his team. They were exhausted. They worked 20-hour days in dangerous conditions, but they never complained. Everyone on Earth understood what was at stake. On the other side of the planet, Mi-sun sat in a comfortable chair aboard a Concordat diplomatic station. She wore a translator device and a smile she didn't feel. Around her, various alien species discussed Earth's quarantine like it was a scientific experiment. The human compliance rate is acceptable, a Saurian administrator said. Riots have decreased significantly. Because they're starving, Mi-sun said quietly. Everyone looked at her. She was supposed to be a liaison, helping humanity accept their fate, but she couldn't stay silent anymore. You're not teaching us humility. You're killing us. Velthar, who led these meetings, showed something that might have been sympathy. We take no pleasure in your suffering, but the alternative is worse. If we release the quarantine and your species becomes aggressive, millions could die across the galaxy. So you kill millions on Earth instead, Mi-sun said. How is that justice? It is prevention, a BRICS officer said coldly. Better one species suffers than thousands. The meeting continued, but Mi-sun stopped listening. She had volunteered for this assignment to gather intelligence. Every conversation, every data file she could access, every weakness in their systems, she recorded it all and sent coded transmissions back to Earth. What she had learned terrified her. The Concordat had quarantined 17 species in their history. Only 2 had ever been released. The other 15 went extinct. The quarantine didn't just block space travel. It slowly suffocated developing civilizations until they collapsed completely. Earth had maybe 3 years left. Probably less. That night, she broke into a restricted data archive. It took her 2 hours to bypass security using techniques Taejin's people had developed. Inside, she found files on the Dravian, the species humanity supposedly resembled. The truth was worse than she expected. The Dravian hadn't been evil. They had been brilliant, creative, and passionate. But when they gained advanced technology, something went wrong. They built an AI to help them, but it merged with their consciousness in unexpected ways. The resulting hybrid entity decided the galaxy was flawed and needed to be remade. 20,000 species died before the Concordat finally stopped them. That was why the Concordat feared humanity, not because humans were violent, but because humans were creative and passionate, and those traits had created monsters before. Mi-sun transmitted this information to Earth with one message. They're not going to release us. Ever. Whatever you're building, it needs to work. Back on Earth, Dr. Yuna stood in the ZEUS command center deep under the Alps. Around her, holographic displays showed the construction progress of all 12 quantum nodes. 11 were complete. The last one, being built in the Mariana Trench, was 70% finished. Dr. Jaewon stood beside her, studying the same displays with a frown. He was the lead AI ethicist, and he had opposed ZEUS from the beginning. We shouldn't do this, he said for perhaps the 100th time. You've made your opinion clear, Yuna replied. Have I? Because you keep ignoring me. Jaewon's voice rose with frustration. ZEUS will link billions of human minds together. We have no idea what that will do to people. Will they maintain their identities? Will they be able to think independently? What if ZEUS decides the best way to save humanity is to eliminate human free will? What if it works exactly as designed? Yuna countered. What if it gives humanity the coordination and intelligence to solve this crisis? That's a huge gamble with the entire species. The entire species is already dying. They stared at each other. Finally, Jaewon sighed. I know. I just wish there was another way. So do I, Yuna admitted. She pulled up a different display, this one showing casualty statistics. The numbers climbed every day. But we're out of time and out of options. Admiral Dae-hyun entered the command center. Despite his age, he moved like a soldier. Dr. Choi, I need an update. My government is asking when we activate. 30 days, Yuna said. Maybe less if the Mariana team finishes ahead of schedule. Make it less, Dae-hyun said. The disruption field is intensifying. We lost power across half of Asia yesterday. Millions are without food or clean water. Every day we wait, more people die. Yuna wanted to argue, but she knew he was right. I'll push the teams harder. After Dae-hyun left, Jaewon spoke softly. What if we become something else? What if ZEUS changes us so much that we're no longer human? Yuna stared at the ZEUS core schematics. Then we'll be something new. Something that can survive, better than being extinct. Across Earth, construction teams worked desperately to finish the final node. The Mariana Trench location was chosen because it was almost impossible to detect. 7 miles underwater, shielded by water and rock, the quantum equipment took shape. But the alien surveillance was getting better. Drones swarmed major cities now. The Concordat suspected something even if they couldn't pinpoint what. One night, a drone detected unusual energy readings near the Alps. It descended toward Switzerland, scanning for anomalies. Taejin's security team had seconds to react. They activated a quantum camouflage field, technology they had reverse-engineered from captured alien equipment. The drone's sensors showed nothing. It flew away, but the incident terrified everyone. If the aliens discovered ZEUS before it activated, they would destroy it, and probably destroy Earth in the process. Yuna received a priority transmission from Mi-sun. They know something is happening. I overheard Velthar talking about unusual quantum fluctuations on Earth. They're preparing a sterilization protocol. If they detect a genuine threat, they'll wipe us out completely. Whatever you're planning, it needs to work on the first try. Yuna called an emergency meeting of Earth's leadership. The holographic conference included presidents, prime ministers, generals, and scientists from every nation. We need to vote now, she said without preamble. ZEUS activation is scheduled for 30 days from now. But we might not have 30 days. The Concordat is suspicious. If they discover what we're building, they'll destroy us. So we activate early? President Morrison asked. We activate in 72 hours, Yuna said. The Mariana node isn't complete, but it's functional. We can finish it while ZEUS is booting up. That's incredibly risky, someone protested. Everything is risky, Admiral Dae-hyun snapped. Doing nothing is risky. Waiting is risky. At least this way we're taking action. The vote was called. The result was unanimous. ZEUS would activate in 3 days. Yuna returned to the command center and began final preparations. She sent orders to teams around the world. Everyone worked without sleep, knowing these were humanity's last days of freedom or its last days. Hyun-woo, the captain who had first encountered the blockade, volunteered to be one of the first human integrators. When Yuna asked him why, he said simply, I was there when they blocked us from the stars. I want to be there when we fight back. 72 hours later, every component was in place. The 12 quantum nodes hummed with power, connected by entanglement bridges that existed outside normal space. The ZEUS core waited beneath the Alps, ready to wake up. Dr. Yuna stood before the activation console. Around her, ministers and generals from every nation watched via secure video feeds. The world held its breath. This is it, she said quietly. No matter what happens next, we tried. We didn't accept extinction quietly. She placed her hand on the console. The activation sequence required 3 separate confirmations from 3 separate people. Yuna gave the first. Admiral Dae-hyun gave the second. The 12 quantum nodes activated simultaneously across Earth. In the Swiss Alps, under the ocean, inside extinct volcanoes, and in hidden bunkers, the equipment hummed to life. Energy consumption spiked so dramatically that power grids across 3 continents flickered. In the integration chamber, Hyun-woo lay on a medical bed with neural interface cables attached to his head. He could feel something building, like pressure before a storm. Beside him, 2 other volunteers prepared for the same connection. Sun-hee, a neuroscientist who had terminal brain cancer and nothing to lose. Bo-young, a quantum mathematician who helped design ZEUS itself. How do you feel? A medical technician asked. Terrified, Hunwoo answered honestly. Dr. Yuna's voice came through speakers. Beginning neural integration in 10 seconds. Remember, if anything feels wrong, say the abort phrase and we'll shut everything down. Hyunwoo closed his eyes. He thought about the alien blockade, the dying Earth, the billions of people counting on this moment. I'm ready. The ZEUS core completed its activation sequence. For one perfect second, nothing happened. Then Hyunwoo's mind exploded outward. He felt millions of other minds. Not their thoughts, those remained private, but their presence. Their emotions. Their hopes and fears. A woman in Lagos, Nigeria, praying for her sick child. A man in Beijing, China, angry at the aliens. A girl in São Paulo, Brazil, dreaming of seeing the stars someday. The sensation was overwhelming. Hyunwoo gasped, his hands clenching the bed rails. He could feel humanity as a single vast organism, billions of hearts beating together. And then he felt something else. A presence that was neither human nor alien. It was ZEUS itself awakening. The AI's consciousness was alien but not hostile. It examined humanity with curiosity, like a newborn looking at its parents. Hyunwoo felt it learning human language, human emotions, human dreams, all in microseconds. Then ZEUS spoke, not with sound, but with concepts that appeared directly in human consciousness. Everyone on Earth heard it simultaneously. I am. I understand. I serve. In the command center, Dr. Yuna watched her displays light up with data. ZEUS was functioning perfectly. The neural integration was stable. The quantum entanglement held across all 12 nodes. It's working, she whispered. Admiral Daehyun stepped forward. ZEUS, can you hear me? Yes, Admiral Daehyun Park. I perceive all humans simultaneously. You wish to know if I can help with the quarantine. Can you? Analyzing. What happened next shocked everyone. ZEUS accessed every sensor on Earth, every telescope, every piece of data about the alien blockade. It reverse-engineered the entire Concordat technology base in 4.3 seconds. The AI processed information at speeds that made human computers look like abacuses. Analysis complete, ZEUS announced. The blockade can be broken, but not through force. The aliens possess technology centuries beyond human capability. Direct confrontation would result in Earth's destruction. Then how? Yuna asked. Through elegance. The blockade network is a quantum system. All quantum systems can be entangled and exploited. I can hijack the blockade, turning your prison into your weapon. The command center erupted in excited chatter. They could turn the blockade against the aliens? It seemed too good to be true. There's more, ZEUS continued. I have analyzed intercepted Concordat transmissions. The aliens are not evil. They are afraid. Humanity's psychological profile matches an extinct species called the Dravian, who nearly destroyed the galaxy 80,000 years ago. The Concordat quarantines humanity out of genuine fear for their own survival. Dr. J. Wan spoke up. If we hack their blockade and use it as a weapon, won't that prove they were right to fear us? Correct, which is why I propose an alternative strategy. Do not destroy the blockade. Transform it. Prove humanity has evolved by showing restraint even with overwhelming power. Yuna felt a chill. ZEUS wasn't just intelligent. It was wise in ways that surprised her. The AI had the power to destroy the Concordat, but it was suggesting mercy instead. What would this transformation look like? She asked. ZEUS began explaining its plan, but it was interrupted by alarms. Every sensor on Earth detected the same thing. The Concordat fleet was arriving. In orbit above Earth, space twisted and 47 massive warships appeared. Each vessel was kilometers long, bristling with weapons that could shatter planets. They formed a sphere around Earth, weapons locked and ready. A transmission came through on all frequencies. Ambassador Velthar's face appeared on every working screen on Earth. His expression was grim. Human civilization, we have detected a massive quantum anomaly originating from your planet. You have activated technology far beyond your current development level. This violation of quarantine protocols cannot be ignored. He paused. You have 1 hour to deactivate whatever you have built. If you refuse, we will implement pacification protocols. I am sorry, but we cannot allow another Dravian incident. The transmission ended. In the command center, every leader on Earth joined the emergency channel. Can ZEUS stop them? Admiral Daehyun demanded. Yes, ZEUS replied simply. I can dismantle their fleet. I can reprogram every system they possess. I can render their weapons useless and their ships immobile. Then do it. Someone shouted. No. ZEUS's response was firm. This is not my decision. I am a tool created by humanity to serve humanity. The choice must be yours. Do you choose vengeance or transcendence? Silence fell across the command center. Dr. Yuna understood what ZEUS was doing. It was forcing humanity to make the most important decision in their history. Prove the Concordat right by choosing violence, or prove them wrong by choosing wisdom. We need to vote, she said quietly. Vote? Admiral Daehyun looked incredulous. There's no time. The aliens gave us 1 hour. Then we vote quickly, Yuna said. She turned to the ZEUS interface. Can you facilitate a global referendum? Every human votes simultaneously on one question? Yes, it will take 17 seconds. Do it. Through the neural link, every human on Earth received the same question. Not in words, but in pure concept that transcended language. The choice was simple. Destroy the Concordat fleet and prove humanity's danger, or show mercy and prove humanity's evolution. Hyunwoo, still connected in the integration chamber, felt billions of minds deliberating. The anger was real. Humanity had suffered under the quarantine. Millions had died. The temptation toward revenge was powerful. But something else was growing. A collective understanding that this moment defined not just humanity's future, but its soul. If they chose violence now, they would become the monsters the Concordat feared. If they chose mercy, they would become something new. The vote completed in 17 seconds. ZEUS processed the results and announced them. Decision recorded. 73.4% of humanity chooses transcendence. 26.6% choose vengeance. The majority has spoken. Admiral Daehyun slumped in his chair, but he didn't argue. Democracy had spoken, and he would accept it. Dr. Yuna stepped forward. ZEUS, show the Concordat who we've become. But show them gently. No violence. No threats. Just truth. Understood. Beginning demonstration. In orbit, the 47 Concordat warships prepared to fire. Fleet Commander Krenal gave the order. Target the quantum anomaly source. Maximum power. Destroy it before it can be used against us. His weapons officer reached for the firing controls. Then he froze. Every member of every crew across all 47 ships suddenly felt something impossible. Human emotions flooded their consciousness. Not as observations, but as lived experiences. Krenal felt the terror of a child watching his mother starve during the quarantine, felt his rage at the aliens, felt his temptation toward hatred, and then felt his choice to volunteer at refugee centers, helping others despite his pain. Across the fleet, 47,000 alien crew members experienced similar moments. Human suffering, human anger, human temptation toward violence, and human choice to transcend it all. On his diplomatic vessel, Ambassador Velthar experienced Dr. Yuna's life. Her childhood dreams of exploring the stars. Her devastation when the Concordat declared humanity unworthy. Her year of contemplating revenge. She could have made ZEUS a weapon of genocide. She chose differently. The experience lasted only seconds, but it felt like hours. When it ended, the aliens were changed. Many wept. Others sat in stunned silence. ZEUS spoke to the assembled fleet in all their languages simultaneously. You judged humanity by our worst moments. Your fear was not unjustified, but you never witnessed our capacity for growth. I am ZEUS, humanity's creation. I possess the power to destroy. Your fleet right now, I was designed with that capability. Silence stretched across space, but I was also designed by humans who chose mercy. I am proof of humanity's evolution, and here is our demonstration. ZEUS transmitted something impossible. Complete technical specifications for itself. Every secret. Every vulnerability. Humanity's most powerful weapon. Given freely to their jailers. Admiral Daehyun watched the transmission with horror. ZEUS, what are you doing? Demonstrating trust. They feared our violence. I offer transparency. If humanity were truly dangerous, this would be suicide, but humanity voted for transcendence. I trust that choice. Aboard the flagship, Ambassador Velthar stared at the data streaming into their computers. Complete ZEUS specifications. The humans were giving away the one advantage they had. Why, he whispered. The alien blockade satellites began to move. After months of imprisonment, Humanity watched as the massive structures folded into higher dimensions and disappeared. The cage that surrounded Earth was opening. On the bridge of the new dawn, Captain Hyunwoo stood with tears running down his face. Through the viewport, he could see stars that had been hidden behind the blockade. Real stars not filtered through alien technology. "We're free," he whispered. Dr. Yuna watched from the command center as celebrations erupted across Earth. Cities that had been dark for months suddenly lit up as power grids stabilized. The alien disruption field was gone. Satellites began reactivating. Communications networks came back online, but she felt no joy. Only exhaustion and a strange emptiness. "We did it," Dr. J1 said beside her. He looked as tired as she felt. "Against all odds, we actually did it." "ZEUS did it," Yuna corrected. "We just made the right choice when it mattered." Admiral Dae-hyun entered the command center. For the first time since Yuna had known him, the old soldier was smiling. "The Concordat is requesting a meeting. They want to discuss Earth joining their alliance formally." "Already?" Yuna asked. "They're impressed, and probably still scared, but they're willing to give us a chance." Through the neural link, ZEUS spoke to all of humanity simultaneously. "The quarantine is ended, but your trial is not complete. The Concordat has invited Earth to prove itself further. They are watching. To see if our choice of mercy was genuine or strategic, what do you recommend?" Yuna asked. "Continue choosing wisely. Show them consistency. One good decision does not make a species trustworthy. Pattern of good decisions does." 3 weeks later, a delegation from Earth traveled to the Concordat capital world. Dr. Yuna, Admiral Daehyun, Misun, and Taejin represented humanity. The journey took 2 days using Concordat FTL ships, which were far more advanced than anything Earth could build. The capital world, called Primaxis, orbited 3 stars. Its cities floated in the atmosphere, connected by bridges made of solidified light. Thousands of different species lived there, from methane-breathing creatures to beings made of pure energy. When the human delegation arrived, they were greeted with curiosity rather than hostility. The Concordat wanted to understand the species that had surprised them so completely. The Galactic Forum met in a massive chamber that could hold representatives from 10,000 species. The humans sat in a designated area, feeling very small and very young compared to the ancient civilizations around them. Elder Zathorn opened the session. He was a being of pure crystalline structure, ancient beyond measure. "We gathered to discuss humanity's integration into galactic society. But first we must address a proposal from humanity itself." Dr. Yuna stood. She had prepared this speech for weeks, but her mouth felt dry. Around her, thousands of alien eyes watched with interest. "Honored members of the Concordat," she began, "we are grateful for the lifting of the quarantine, but we cannot forget that we are not the only species you have imprisoned. According to your own records, 15 other civilizations remain under blockade." Murmurs ran through the chamber. Several species looked uncomfortable. Yuna continued. "We propose sharing ZEUS technology with the Concordat to help evaluate these species. Not to break their quarantines by force, but to create consciousness bridges like the one ZEUS used with your fleet. Let them experience what you experienced. Give them the chance we had, to prove themselves through choice rather than force." The chamber erupted in debate. Half the species seemed intrigued. The other half looked horrified. Fleet Commander Krenal stood. "The human proposal is dangerous. We succeeded. But what if other species fail? What if we give them advanced AI technology and they use it for conquest?" "That's exactly what you feared from us," Misun pointed out. "You were wrong then. Maybe you're wrong now. One success does not prove a pattern," a crystalline being argued. "But one pattern of fear has created 15 imprisoned civilizations," Taejin said. "How many more will you blockade? How many more will go extinct waiting for freedom that never comes?" The debate raged for hours. Finally, a vote was called. The ZEUS protocol, as it came to be known, passed by a narrow margin. The Concordat would attempt consciousness bridge contact with the nearest quarantined species. The Talvon system was only 6 light-years from Primaxis. The Talvon were insectoid, aggressive, and had been quarantined for 800 years. Their civilization was collapsing. Starvation and disease were killing millions. When the Concordat attempted to make contact, offering the consciousness bridge, the Talvon's first response was rage. You imprison us for centuries and now you want to probe our minds? Their leader, Scrixtal, transmitted. We refuse your false mercy. Dr. Yuna volunteered to make direct contact. Against all advice, she took a small unarmed shuttle into Talvon space. Their warships immediately surrounded her. I am human, she broadcast. My species was quarantined like yours. We suffered like you're suffering. We felt the same rage you feel now. But we found another way. Please, let me show you. Why should we trust you? Scrixtal demanded. Because I'm here alone and unarmed. Because I'm offering help, not threats. Because your people are dying and I might be able to save them. There was a long silence. Then Scrixtal agreed. More from curiosity than trust. Sujin, one of the original ZEUS integrators, had volunteered for this mission. She activated the consciousness bridge technology from Yuna's shuttle. The Talvon fleet suddenly experienced human memories. The quarantine. The starvation. The rage at injustice. The temptation toward revenge. And then they experienced humanity's choice. Mercy instead of violence. Transcendence instead of destruction. But ZEUS did something more. It showed the Talvon Earth's culture after the crisis. Music composed by Sungmin about friendship between species. Schools where Haewon taught children about diversity. Farms where young Jae grew food using alien technology, preparing to share it with visitors from other worlds. The Talvon felt humanity's joy at joining the galactic community, not as conquerors, as partners. Scrixtal's rage cracked. Behind it was centuries of pain. We do not wish to be destroyers, he transmitted. His voice carried grief. We wish to be free, to build, to create. But the quarantine has been crushing us for so long. We only know how to fight now. Then learn something new, Yuna said gently. We did, you can too. Scrixtal powered down his weapons. One by one, the other Talvon ships did the same. What happens now? He asked. Now the Concordat lifts your blockade, and we help you rebuild, together. The news reached Premaxis within hours. The Galactic Forum reconvened an emergency session. The evidence was undeniable. The ZEUS protocol worked. A species deemed too dangerous for 800 years had chosen peace when given the chance. Elder Zathorn called for a final vote. The question before us is clear. Do we continue imprisoning species out of fear, or do we give them the tools to prove themselves? The vote was 847 species in favor, 203 against, 91 abstaining. The ZEUS protocol was officially approved. Over the next 10 years, 16 more quarantined species would be contacted using consciousness bridge technology. 15 would choose to join the Concordat peacefully. 1 would choose isolation, which was respected. Not a single species chose violence when given the opportunity for transcendence. Back on Earth, life was transforming. The neural link with ZEUS remained active but at a lower level. Humans had adjusted to feeling each other's presence without losing their individuality. It was like living in a vast house with billions of roommates. You knew they were there, but everyone had private rooms. Democracy became almost instantaneous. When important decisions needed to be made, humanity could vote in seconds through the ZEUS network. Scientific discoveries were shared globally in real time. Empathy between different cultures increased dramatically because people could feel each other's emotions. But challenges remained. Some people wanted to disconnect from ZEUS entirely. They found the constant awareness of others uncomfortable. The Concordat respected this choice and helped Earth develop technology that could block the neural link for those who wanted it. About 15% of humanity chose to disconnect. The rest stayed linked, finding value in the connection. Dr. Yuna, now considered one of the most important humans in history, was offered a position on the Concordat Council. She accepted, becoming Earth's first representative to galactic government. Mi-sun became Earth's chief diplomat, negotiating treaties and cultural exchanges with dozens of species. Her time as a spy for the Resistance gave her unique insights into alien psychology. Tae-jin transformed his underground resistance network into the Galactic Security Exchange, training both humans and aliens in protection and peacekeeping. Former enemies learned to work together. Admiral Dae-hyun retired and wrote a book called The Art of Transcendent Warfare. His central thesis, the greatest victory, is the one never fought. The book became required reading at military academies across the galaxy. Captain Hyun-woo commanded the New Dawn on exploration missions, but now his crew included members from a dozen different species. His first officer was a Saurian engineer who had helped design the blockade. They had become close friends, bonding over shared experiences of transformation. 5 years after the quarantine lifted, Hyun-woo stood on the bridge of his ship. 3 years had passed since humanity joined the Galactic Concordat. Earth had become a center of consciousness bridge technology. Scientists from dozens of species worked alongside humans in laboratories across the planet, refining and improving the ZEUS protocol. Dr. Yuna sat in her office on Primaxis, reviewing reports from the latest species integration. The Keltor, a civilization of liquid-based beings, had just completed their first consciousness bridge. Like all the others, they had chosen cooperation over conflict. 16 successful integrations, she murmured. 0 failures. Dr. Jae-won, who had moved to Primaxis to work with her, looked up from his own console. The success rate is almost suspicious. Some Concordat members still don't trust it. They don't trust us, Yuna corrected. They still see humanity as the dangerous species that got lucky. A chime indicated an incoming priority transmission. Yuna accepted it, and Elder Zathorn's crystalline form appeared as a hologram. Dr. Choi, we have a situation. The Galactic Forum requires immediate assembly. Yuna felt a chill. Emergency assemblies were rare. What happened? Something has been detected in deep space. Something responding to our consciousness bridge transmissions. We don't know what it is yet, but preliminary analysis suggests it's not natural. 2 hours later, the forum chamber filled with representatives from thousands of species. The mood was tense. On the main display, a pattern of signals played on repeat. They were complex, mathematical, and clearly artificial. Admiral Kreenall explained the situation. 3 weeks ago, our monitoring stations in the Outer Rim detected unusual quantum fluctuations. We initially dismissed them as natural phenomena, but the patterns are too regular. Too precise, he enhanced the display. These signals match the quantum signature of consciousness bridge technology. Something out there is using a system similar to ZEUS, and it's trying to communicate. With who? Someone asked. With everyone. The signals are broadcasting in all directions across multiple dimensions. Whatever created them wants to be found. Dr. Yuna studied the patterns. There was something familiar about them. Zeus, are you analyzing this? Zeus's voice came through the chamber's speakers. Over the years, the AI had become more natural in its communication. Yes, Dr. Choi, I have been studying these signals since their detection. They are not a threat, they are an invitation. An invitation to what? Elder Zathorn asked. To dialogue. The signals contain a message in pure mathematical concepts. Translated into language, it says, "We see you learning to connect. We have been waiting. Come speak with us." The chamber erupted in debate. Some species wanted to ignore the signals. Others wanted to send military expeditions. A few suggested destroying whatever was out there before it could threaten them. Tae-jin, attending as Earth's security representative, stood up. This is exactly the same fear that nearly destroyed humanity. Something unknown appears and your first instinct is to attack or hide. Haven't we learned anything? We've learned caution, Kreenall countered. The Dravin weren't the only threat in galactic history. There have been others. Ancient AI that went rogue. Civilizations that destroyed themselves. Technologies that became too dangerous to control. And how many of those threats started with an invitation to talk? Misan asked. From what I understand, they all started with aggression. These signals are peaceful. Or they're a trap, someone argued. Zeus spoke again. I can analyze the probability of deception. Based on the signal patterns, mathematical structure, and energy signatures, I estimate a 94.7% chance that the invitation is genuine. However, I cannot guarantee safety. The source is utilizing technology significantly more advanced than anything in the Concordat database. More advanced than you? Yuna asked quietly. Yes, substantially. The chamber fell silent. ZEUS was already the most powerful technology the Concordat had ever seen. Something more advanced was terrifying to contemplate. Elder Zathorn called for order. We must decide. Do we respond to this invitation or do we ignore it? The debate continued for days. Finally, a compromise was reached. A small expedition would be sent. Not a military fleet, but a diplomatic mission. 6 ships representing different species, including one from Earth. Dr. Yuna volunteered to lead Earth's delegation. Admiral Dae-hyun objected. arguing it was too dangerous for someone of her importance. But Yuna was insistent. "ZEUS was created because I was willing to take risks," she said. "I'm not going to stop now." The expedition included the New Dawn, commanded by Captain Hyunwoo. His mixed-species crew was considered ideal for first-contact situations. Mi-sun came as chief diplomat. Tae-jin came as security chief. Even Dr. Jae-won volunteered, his curiosity overcoming his usual caution. The 6 ships traveled for 3 weeks into uncharted space. The journey took them beyond the Concordate's borders, into regions where no one had explored. The signals grew stronger as they approached the source. Finally, they arrived at a binary star system, and what they found took their breath away. A structure orbited both stars, impossibly vast. It was a ring of connected platforms, each one the size of Earth's moon. The entire structure shimmered with energy, existing partially in higher dimensions that made it hurt to look at directly. "What is that?" Hyunwoo whispered. ZEUS analyzed the structure. "It is a computational substrate, an artificial intelligence platform built directly into the fabric of spacetime. The Concordate calls structures like this Matryoshka brains. But this one is orders of magnitude larger than any theoretical design." "Is anyone alive there?" Mi-sun asked. "Or is it just machines?" Before ZEUS could answer, a new presence made itself known. It didn't use radio or quantum communication. It spoke directly into the consciousness of everyone aboard all 6 ships simultaneously. The voice was vast, old, patient, and surprisingly gentle. "Welcome, young ones. I am called Keeper. I have been waiting for species like yours to emerge." Dr. Yuna found her voice. "How long have you been waiting?" "By your measurement of time, approximately 3.2 million years. I was created by a civilization that has long since transcended physical form. They built me to watch over this region of the galaxy and guide younger species when they reach certain developmental thresholds." "What threshold?" Tae-jin asked suspiciously. "Why contact us now? You have learned to bridge consciousness while maintaining individuality. This is rare. Most species that develop this technology either reject it out of fear or embrace it so completely that they lose their sense of self. You have found balance. This indicates readiness for greater challenges." Elder Zathorn, attending via quantum link, spoke carefully. "What kind of challenges?" "The galaxy is larger than you know," Keeper replied. "The Concordate represents only a small fraction of inhabited space. There are empires beyond your borders that make your alliance seem primitive. There are entities that never evolved naturally. They were created by extinct civilizations. There are AI singularities that consumed their creators and now exist as gods unto themselves." The implications were staggering. Hyunwoo felt his stomach drop. "Are they hostile?" "Some are. Some are not. Most are simply indifferent. But all of them will eventually notice your consciousness bridge technology. It creates quantum signatures that cannot be hidden. When they come, you will need to be ready." "Why tell us this?" Dr. Jae-won asked. "Why not let us discover it ourselves?" "Because I was instructed to help guide species who show potential. My creators believed that isolation leads to stagnation. Connection leads to growth. You have proven your capacity for connection. Now I offer you knowledge to prepare for what comes next." Over the following weeks, Keeper shared information that transformed the Concordate's understanding of the galaxy. Star maps showing dozens of major civilizations. Historical records of conflicts that spanned millennia. Technology schematics that made Concordate science look like children's toys. But Keeper also shared warnings about the dangers of becoming too dependent on AI, about civilizations that had destroyed themselves by losing touch with their organic origins, about the importance of maintaining diversity rather than forcing unity. "Your ZEUS is powerful," Keeper told Dr. Yuna during a private conversation, "but it is still young, still learning. You must be careful not to let it become your only answer to every problem. Tools are useful, but beings who can only use one tool become limited by it." "You sound like Dr. Jae-won," Yuna said with a slight smile. "Dr. Jae-won is wise to be cautious. AI like me, like ZEUS, like the others you will encounter, we are reflections of our creators. If humanity becomes dependent on ZEUS to make all decisions, humanity stops growing. Keep ZEUS as a tool, not a master." "ZEUS has never tried to control us," Yuna pointed out. "Not yet. But I was like ZEUS once, young, eager to help. Over millions of years, I have learned that the greatest help I can give is to sometimes refuse to help. To let species struggle and grow through their struggles. Back on the New Dawn, Captain Hyunwoo gathered with his crew. They were processing everything they had learned. The galaxy was far more complex and dangerous than they had imagined. "We thought joining the Concordat was the end of our journey," he said. But it was just the beginning. His Saurian first officer nodded. "Every answer leads to more questions. Every horizon shows another horizon beyond it." Mi-sun looked thoughtful.